Howdy folks, Spencer here, and today I want to talk to you about the latest batch of news for STO on both PC and console. As always, chapters will be listed down below for those of you that want to skip ahead to any specific topic. And the first topic for today is that the STO Wiki has now fully moved over to their new independent website, which is stowiki.net. I'll have that link down below in the description and in a pinned comment for any of you that want to bookmark it. The old wiki that was hosted on Fandom is no longer going to be supported by the wiki community. So if you want to see any future editions for the game on a wiki, then you're going to have to use their new one. They also have a Twitter account set up for the wiki that I'll have linked down below if you want to follow it. And given that this is an independent wiki, they are going to be hosting it themselves. And if anyone in the community wants to help with the monthly maintenance fees for the hosting plan, then they do have a Ko-fi page set up, which I'll also have linked down below for any of you that want to chip in. And next up, I want to head over to the console side of things here quick. Console now has a couple blogs coming out for their release of the anniversary event and the overall season 28 update, and that is going to be March 14th. So they've released two blogs so far, the Birdcage one, which goes over the lore behind the new ground TFO. Then they released a blog today going over some of the two new patrols that you're going to be getting with this update. And the nice thing is that this Jupiter Station Showdown is a ground patrol. So this is now a permanently available ground patrol that we'll all have access to. So it's good to see that moving over to console. Now for the overall content of the update and the anniversary event, I'll link to the wiki pages down below if you want to check them out. But in total, the update is going to be the conclusion to the Terran arc, the Birdcage TFO, which is a ground TFO, those two new patrols, and then, of course, the anniversary event where you can earn the compiler Science Dreadnought. And I know some of you have been asking about giveaways on console in the lead up to the anniversary event, and everything this year compared to last year with regards to the anniversary is basically running a day earlier than it did last year. So looking at this, we should be seeing the first giveaway on console on March 9th, and that'll run until noon on the 10th. And that'll be for 4 ship slots. The second day will be a T5 ship coupon, tier 5. Then the third day will be an Elite Services starter pack. Fourth day will be a motion picture uniform, and that will be an account-wide unlock in the C store. The fifth day will be 2 fleet support DOF packs, and then the last day will be 2 elite bridge officer training tokens. So for those of you that have been wondering when the console giveaways are going to be starting, that is when they will be going live. And the only other thing here that console is going to be getting that is not mentioned is the Safe Galaxy lockbox, which will introduce the World Razor Juggernaut into the game. That is that really powerful 5-3 Galaxy class ship. And you'll also be getting the Watcher Bridge Officers in that lockbox, which for some of you may be a better bridge officer to use compared to something like SROs. They're certainly a lot cheaper. And heading over to the PC side of things, we have a Red Alert event starting up on March 9th that will be running through the 16th. This is a 1-week-long Red Alert event, so for completing 5 days of the event, you will earn an Ultimate Tech upgrade and a specialization point. As always, if you want to get through the Red Alert event quickly, I'd recommend just doing a Borg Red Alert or Tholian Red Alert once a day for the duration of the event. And another thing I want to quickly mention is that if you're intending to play the game on March 8th, from between 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the game is going to be down along with most other Cryptic titles for their server maintenance that they do every now and then. So I don't think there's an actual patch associated with this specific downtime, but do expect that you're just not going to be able to get into the game for the morning hours if you're American, and if you're European, the game is pretty much going to be off for a good chunk of your afternoon. And next up, I want to go through and do a quick update on the current status of the dilithium exchange. I am recording this at 9:09 p.m. Central Standard Time on March 7th. And for most of the day, it looks like the buy Zen tab has pretty much settled at around 499 to 500 dil per Zen. There's been a few points where it dipped down into the 480s, but it keeps jumping back up around 500. Now, thankfully, the backlog is still gone, and you do have the ability to go in and instantly sell some of your Zen or some of your dilithium for Zen. So right now, if I want to buy that 176 at 499, I can go through and that order instantly went through. Now, if you're someone that is selling your Zen to try and get dilithium, you can either queue it up at 500 dil per Zen, like we see quite a few have here, or you can take one of these lower offerings here. So you can go in and you can either do what I said, where you just post it at 500 dil per Zen. And when you do that, you're going to be put in the queue and your order will sell once all of the Zen that was listed ahead of yours will sell or has sold. So if you want to skip that and you want to sell your Zen instantly, then you can go in and take one of these lower exchange rates, which isn't, really that much worse. And you can go in and instantly take that lower exchange rate and have your order immediately process. So if you're someone that wants to get the most out of your Zen, that it is still perfectly possible to do a listing at 500 dil per Zen. You just are going to have to wait for it to sell. And if you are willing to take a slightly lower rate, then you can get the order to go through instantly. And the last topic for today is that we have a new Infinity ship arriving into the game sometime in the near future, and this is going to be a ship from Lower Decks. So there is some uncertainty about how the ship is going to be introduced into the game. In the initial tweet that they put out, they had it labeled as a lockbox ship. However, if you go and look at the ship release patterns that Fluffle put together, the Gamble box ship that they typically introduce in March is usually a promotional ship. So, I'm going to wait till the blog comes out to say for sure. But if this does actually end up being a new lockbox ship rather than a promo ship, that is going to have some market impact. Most notably, that does mean that the Infinity will be back in circulation. For most lockbox openers, they've never stopped opening Infinity, but there's quite a few players that only open the boxes that they get when playing content. And if Infinity goes back into circulation, because this next ship is introduced via the Infinity lockbox, then that does mean that we may see reduced supply for both the World Raiser and the Watcher Bridge Officers. So if this is actually an Infinity ship like they said, like Infinity lockbox, then that could result in the Watchers and the World Raiser and any of the other Safe Galaxy items going up in value on the exchange. But we'll have to wait for the blog in the next day or so to see for sure whether this is actually a lockbox ship or a promotional ship. So the ship was initially going to be revealed on 10 Forward earlier tonight. However, something popped up and they had to cancel the stream for tonight, and they have postponed it until Thursday. And given that they did cancel it, they did at least go through and give us a teaser of what the ship is with this picture here. And the ship that they showed here is the Texas from Lower Decks. So this is specifically from Season 3, Episodes 9 and 10 of Lower Decks. And this was a very fast, very combat-capable ship, and it was AI controlled. So I'm curious to see how they're going to set it up, but given its small size, its speed, and its firepower, I imagine that this is going to end up being a raider or escort of some sort. I'll include a link to the wiki page for the Texas class if you want to learn more about it. And it did have a really powerful torpedo thing on it that split off Um, like the enemy from the first Star Trek reboot movie, like a decade ago, it had a torpedo like that on it that was purple. So I wonder if we're going to get something like that on it, but we'll find out in the next couple of days. That is going to be it for today's news video. Thank you all for the continued support, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll get back to you when I can. That's going to be it for today. See you guys around.